Hey guys, welcome to the Midnight Spook Show on the Horror and Metal channel with your host, Hellhound. Today we're going to do it's called the 10Q Horror Tag, created by LastVenom76, and I was tagged by Sean Erschen, who also did his videos, so check out both of their videos, subscribe to their channels, check out both users, all that stuff, all that good stuff. Before we get started, I just wanted to mention real quick that I did go see Incredibles 2, and I also saw Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And I thought both movies were really good. I really enjoyed them both, especially Incredibles 2. That was really, really good. And Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom was pretty good too. I enjoyed them both. Maybe I'll talk a little bit more about those two movies a little bit in the future, but let's go ahead and get on with the questions. There's 10 questions, obviously. The 10Q Horror Tag by LastVenom76. And once again, I was tagged by Sean Erschen, and I had a lot of the same answers as him. Honestly, I agreed with all his answers. So I actually tried to avoid saying the same thing he said. So some of these questions, you might be, some of my answers, you might be thinking, hey, wait a minute, shouldn't he have said that? And it's only because I didn't want to say the exact same answers, because I could have literally answered each one, almost each question exactly the same as he did, because we agree on so many things. Great minds think alike. So you've already watched his video. Just for the sake of more variety, I'm going to answer mine a little differently. So I'm going to try to avoid giving the same answers he did. You know, I agree with most of them. So anyway, let's begin. Question number 1. What is your favorite opening sequence in a horror movie? Now, Sean Erschen went with Halloween, and that's exactly what I would have said, but in order to avoid I was giving the same exact answer for the sake of diversity. There's so many great ones. You know, there's so many good openings, and I'm sure I can think of a better one. There's probably one, that I'm not thinking of. But only to get things moving, let's go ahead and go with the opening of Creepshow. The first Creepshow where Billy first gets the comic, his dad tries to take it away. Says, "I don't want you reading that trash." His abusive dad played by Tom Atkins. You know, it kind of reminds me of one of the Twisted Sister music videos. We're Not Gonna Take It, I believe, or I Want to Rock. I don't know, whichever one. But anyway. Then we see the creeper at the window, and then it turns into a cartoon. It turns into an animated segment. The creeper starts laughing and cackling, going in the air. It really gets you pumped. It really gets you in the mood for the awesome anthology that's going to follow. So I really love that opening. I think it's a great way to start a horror movie. I love all the tributes to the EC comics of the 50s, like, Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, Haunt of Fear, Eerie, Creepy, House of Mystery, Ghostly Tales from the Haunted House, all that good stuff. So, love Creepshow, love the way it opens. Again, there's probably better ones out there, but to get things moving, let's go with the opening of Creepshow. Alright, question number 2. What's your top 3 favorite horror movie quotes? There's a lot to choose from again, wow, but narrowing it down to 3 is really hard. Now, I am going to have to give one of Sean Ershen's answers, because this has got to make the cut, and that's the whole monologue that Dr. Loomis, played by Donald Pleasance, gives in the original Halloween. You know, the whole blackest eyes, the devil's eyes, I met this 6-year-old boy, you know, that whole monologue, you know it. Dr. Loomis from Halloween said that whole monologue about Michael Myers. It's a great line. I had to make it in here. I realized Sean Erschen gave the same answer, and I said I wasn't going to give you the same answers, but I had to include that one, because it's just too awesome. That's the only time I'll give his same answer, though, I think. So yeah, the first one, the blackest eyes, devil eyes monologue from Dr. Loomis in Halloween. As for the second one, "Welcome to prime time, bitch," said by Freddy, played by Robert Englund in Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Love that line. It gets me every time. And as for the third one, let's go with "Hail to the King, baby," from Ash Williams, played by Bruce Campbell from Army of Darkness. Love that line. It's a great way to end the movie. Bruce Campbell's the man! Alright, question number 3. Which version of The Shining do you prefer? Stanley Kubrick's movie or Stephen King's original story? So basically it's the movie versus the book. Now this would have been an easy question if it was the 1980 Stanley Kubrick film versus the 1997 miniseries, which King had a whole lot to do with. But if you're asking me, I'd go with the 1980 one, by the way, but even though I like the 97 one too, but if you're asking me the movie against the book, that's really hard because they're both so different. Stanley Kubrick pretty much made it his own thing. I have so many fond memories of the movie. I grew up with the movie. It's one of my favorite movies ever. It's a great horror film. It's very scary. But the book by Stephen King is so good too. This is really hard. It's like, oh man, that'd be like choosing one of your kids or something. Gosh, I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that, guys. The novel is so good. It's so good. It's so much more detailed. It's longer. It's more descriptive. It goes more into Jack Torrance's backstory. But the movie is so cold and creepy and like joyless, and it's just so grim and depressing and but awesome at the same time. And they have 2 totally different feels. The novel ends in fire. The movie ends in ice. I can't do it. I'll go with the movie by a hair. And by a hair, I mean a freaking, like a shaven beard hair. Just a tiny little, I cannot stress how tiny that hair is, because it's way too hard to decide. I'll go with the movie by a freaking hair. So if you leave it in the comments saying, oh, you like the movie better than the book, this was hard. I couldn't decide. But the book is so good too, so honestly, I really can't decide. I have to say it's a tie, but for now, I'll go with the movie by this much. Like, just barely. But they're both so excellent. Stanley Kubrick and Stephen King were both geniuses, and I love what Kubrick did with King's original vision, but the original version, which is the novel, was so great too in different ways. So anyway, let's move on. Question number 4, what is your favorite creature in a horror film? Again, I agree with Sean Erschen, the xenomorph from Alien, but for the sake of diversity, let's go with The Thing. From, the 1982 version, John Carpenter's The Thing. This awesome special effects, the best practical effects you'll ever see. There's amazing. The Thing takes too many different forms, and they're all just truly a sight to behold. They're all incredible. Wow, they're so good. So yeah, let's go with The Thing. It's awesome, truly awesome creature. Very remarkable, very well made. Amazing special effects. But the Xenomorph's definitely up there too. But I'll go with The Thing, just so we don't have too much similarity. All right, question number 5. What is a movie you don't like that everybody else likes? Well, if we're talking about just the horror genre, there's a lot outside of the horror genre. A lot of movies people like I don't care for. I think they're not nearly as good as they say, but I'm going to go with like pretty much any remake. Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003, the Friday the 13th from 2009. Any remakes that people like. I don't dislike all of them. I think some are pretty good, some are great, some are okay, but I feel like most of them just didn't need to be made. Even if they're a good movie, I feel like there's no reason for them. They shouldn't have been made. So I'm going to go with any remakes, but not counting remakes, just go with a definitive answer. I'm going to go with Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Now, I don't dislike that movie per se. I just don't think it's nearly as good as everybody thinks. I think it's kind of overrated. Now, when I ask people what their favorite Freddy movie is, a lot of times they say the original Nightmare on Elm Street, and New Nightmare is their second favorite. Sometimes people even say New Nightmare is their favorite. I don't think it's better than the first movie. I don't even think it's better than... I definitely don't think it's better than Part 1 and Part 3, honestly. It is a good movie again, but it's better than Part 5 and 6 for sure, and way better than the remake. But I just don't think it's the best or second best at all. So again, I don't dislike the movie. I just find it very overrated. It's still a good movie. Wes Craven did a good job. It was an interesting idea, but overall, I don't think it's as good as people think, as people say. But to each their own. Nothing against people who like New Nightmare. Again, still a solid horror flick. I just don't like it as much as everybody else does. But anyway, I'm sure I could probably think of more, but let's get things moving. In any type of horror scenario, who would you want to be grouped with to ensure survival? That's an easy one. Ash Mother Williams from the Evil Dead trilogy. Yeah, this is my guy. This is my teammate, my partner. Or hell, he's just going to protect my ass. I'm just going to hide behind him and let him do his thing with his chainsaw and his shotgun and his awesome sense of humor and his witty one-liners. Ash is the man. My favorite horror protagonist, so that's who's going to be on my side. That was an easy answer. That was a no-brainer for me. All right, question number 7. If given creative control over your favorite horror film, what would you change? Well, it's a close one. I have a lot of favorite horror films. It's hard to narrow down to one. I've always said for years that my favorite horror film was Evil Dead 2. Once again with Ash. But I don't think there's really anything I would change about that movie. I think it's perfect the way it is, So let's go with Return of the Living Dead. Return of the Living Dead is another one of my all-time favorite movies. I love it so much. I've watched it more than I've seen it more than I've seen my reflection in the mirror. And I really wouldn't change much, except maybe the ending. I always thought the ending was a little too rushed. They wrap things up way too quickly, and it's kind of lazy. They say, okay, let's just drop a bomb on the entire time. I know what they were going for, a very hopeless, grim, very unsettling ending, but it's like, can they come with something better than that? Just drop a bomb. Oh, I killed zombies. There we go. Oh, there's zombies! Blew them all up. Oh, and then they just use footage, like some weird stock footage of an explosion from, I don't know, something else, and then they show more footage from the movie that we already saw. I don't know, I feel like they could have come up with something better. I really wish Revenge of the Living Dead by Don Calfa, who played Ernie, would have been made, because it would have been a direct sequel, and it would have kind of retconned that ending, except that the bomb missed, and the events continue. I wanted to see closure. I wanted to see those characters. I want to see a proper ending. I just feel like that wasn't, I don't know, I just feel like it was kind of a cop-out. But some people love it. Some people love the ending. They thought it was ballsy. It was kind of it was kind of an expansion of the original Night of the Living Dead ending where Ben dies. He gets shot even though it wasn't a real, wasn't an actual zombie. They thought it was. Oh, I'm sorry, I spoiled it. You've already seen that movie. So I guess they wanted to do something really shocking, which they did, but I feel like they could have done better. But the movie's still friggin' awesome. It's still a solid 10 out of 10. I love it. So yeah, Return of the Living Dead, I'd probably change the ending, maybe. But, yeah, it depends on how you look at it. Again, some people love the ending, and when viewed in a certain way, it can be kind of cool. But anyway, let's move on. Question number 8. What are two... This is an interesting question, by the way. What are two favorite artwork covers in your collection to horrible movies? Kudos to LastVenom76 for coming up with this question. Very interesting. Now, the question isn't your favorite horror artwork. Your two favorites would be like Return of the Living Dead and Fright Night for me, probably. This is two movies that have great artwork, a great poster, but the movies aren't so great. I'm going to go with The Video Dead and Frightmare. I've got both of these on VHS here. Now, both of these have awesome covers, as you can see. Really great covers. And now, I don't think either one of these are necessarily horrible. I don't think they're terrible movies, per se. But I don't think they're as good as they could have been, especially Video Dead. Video Dead, I was really expecting... I was expecting a really fun, cheesy, awesome 80s thrill ride like Return of the Living Dead or Reanimator, but it was a little too low budget. I love B-movies, but this was a little too low budget. It seemed like me and my friends could have made something like this. It's still a good movie. I don't think it's terrible. I think it's entertaining. I just think they could have benefited from a little more of a budget. And it's kind of, I don't know, like, it kind of drags in parts. Basically, what I'm trying to say is it's not nearly as good as it could have been, and it's not as good as the cover would suggest. The artwork is better than the movie, basically. Again, not a terrible movie, but the artwork is just... It beats what's the actual movie. Same with Frightmare. This one actually was pretty disappointing. It was a great idea. It was like a horror actor similar to Bela Lugosi or Boris Karloff or Lon Chaney named Conrad Ragzoff. He's a living legend. He dies and he returns from the grave. And it is a really, really awesome concept. I love that ex-Blockbuster rental and the Vestron video logo. That Vestron video logo gets me pumped. I love it. This movie could have been a lot better. You look at that awesome artwork. But the movie, not nearly as good as the artwork, sadly. But yeah, let's go with those two. Again, I don't hate Video Dead. I still think it's good, just not as good as it could have been, as the poster would suggest. But anyway, yeah, those are my two choices. Question number 9. What's a movie you've tried to watch but can't make it to? Oh, hell. That's a hard one. There's a lot. Let's go with any of the Howling sequels. I love the first movie. The Howling. That's right, Howling, not Halloween. Howling. The Howling with werewolves. Not the Michael Myers movie, the werewolf movie. The Howling. Sorry, I had to specify because some people misunderstand me when I say that. The first movie is a masterpiece. One of the best werewolf movies ever made. Great special effects, great werewolves. It's amazing. I love it. Great characters. That first Howling is awesome. It's nearly flawless. The sequels are awful. There's 8 of them total. 8 movies total. There's the first, The Howling, then there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's Howling New Moon Rising, and then they recently made one called The Howling Reborn a few years ago, a part 8. Well, who asked for that? But yeah, let's just go with Howling 2, Your Sister is a Werewolf, just so we can narrow it down to 1. I love the first movie, and the second movie has some continuity with the first one. It mentions Karen White, the character played by Dee Wallace from the first one. Christopher Lee's in it. It's got one of the best songs I've ever heard in my entire life. The song is called Howling, and it is such a great song. For a while, it was my favorite song in the world. It is an awesome song. Too bad it's not in a better movie. Again, I try to watch the movie so much. It's got the werewolf Queen Steerbo, played by Sybil Danning. It's just not nearly as good as it could have been, especially following such a great movie. Howling 2 is just mostly a clunker. It's very disappointing, because I always try to give it a chance. I always say, maybe I wasn't mature enough when I watched it last time. When I watch it, I'm just like, it could be so much better. Not very good. It's still entertaining in a kind of a cheesy way, but does not live up to the original at all. So yeah, let's go with Howling 2, which should have been a good movie, but it's really hard to set through. It's got its moments. It's got its positive qualities, but overall, it's a disappointment, guys. Alright, the final question. Question number 10. At the present time, what horror movie would you like to own as part of your collection? Oh, there's so many movies I need to get. I need to get all the Herschel Gordon Lewis movies. I need them all. I need them so bad. But let's go narrow it down to Brain Damage, which is another movie directed by Frank Henenlotter, who did the Basket Case trilogy. He did Frankenhooker. I still don't have Brain Damage on VHS, DVD, or Blu-ray. I need to get that one. It's a good movie. It's a great movie. I need to get that. I love it. I love Frank Henenlotter's style. I really need to get Brain Damage. There's a lot of other ones as well. My collection, my quest for collecting horror movies will never be complete. I really need to get Night of the Creeps on VHS too. I really want the VHS copy. I've got it on DVD. I've got it on Blu-ray. I want the VHS, but I already have that movie. So a movie I don't have in any shape or form, Brain Damage. Got to get that one. All right, guys. This was the 10Q horror tag by LastVenom76. Again, Sean Erschen tagged me. Check out both of them. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to leave the tag open like I always do. Feel free to leave your answers in the comments or film a video response. Let me know that you did. Let me know that you made a video or just answer the questions in the comments, whatever you want. This is really fun. I like doing this. Again, I'm Hellhound. Thank you for watching. See you later.